Welcome everyone to our Lansa webinar. Today's webinar is a customer spotlight on Rotary Corporation. Thank you for taking your time on your busy schedule to join us today. My name is Jose Caso. I'm the product marketing manager for Lansa, and I will be glad to introduce today's webinar. Please feel free to do any question in the Q&A option down below in your screen, and we'll be glad to take some brief moment to introduce, to answer all your questions. And as for today's webinar, we have Kyleen Brannen. She is Web Marketing Coordinator for Rotary Corporation, and she'll be joining us today in today's session. So thank you very much, Kyleen, for joining us today.
Absolutely. All right. So like he said, I'm the Web Marketing Coordinator for Rotary Corporation. And Rotary is an aftermarket supplier. We have over 9,500 parts for outdoor power equipment, small engine parts, tools, accessories. We sell to service dealers and distributors across the world. We have quality QC standards where we meet or exceed OEM requirements for the products that we carry. We have distribution centers across the United States and one in Germany as well. And we are able to deliver to 80% of the USA next day delivery. We were founded in 1957, and it is a family owned and operated business. When we started this, our Lansa project back in 2015, we realized that what we had was not user-friendly. It wasn't easy to manipulate on a marketing standpoint. We needed something that was flexible, reliable for our B2B e-commerce customers, and we wanted something that was proven. We didn't want to have to reinvent everything that we needed, reinvent the wheel, so to speak. And we needed real-time integration. We had information that was held on an IBMI that we needed to get to this website without going through a lot of hoops. And we needed a partner that understood everything that we had. So with Lansa, it's proven technology. They can integrate with our database. Their group has decades of experience. There's no transaction fees, which is very important, because if you are building a business where you're hoping to increase your web presence, you don't want to build those transaction fees with that. And we also wanted to have something that we could build on in the future. So with Lansa, everything that we required is pretty much built in. It's very mobile responsive, so it changes depending on the size of your screen. We can have control through the marketing department what we put on there. We can do it ourselves if needed, or we can have Lansa assistance. It's real-time integration as far as if we need to change prices, availability, placing orders. Dealers can look at order history, invoicing, track their shipments. All of these things are pretty much necessary in today's world. And there's also customer service and admin features, and they can make payments in a secure environment. Implementation-wise, the Lansa professional services led the project. We worked with the marketing team. We also worked with a graphic designer that we were going through, and took about 6 months to get it implemented. Going to give you a little look-see at the website here. So right off the bat, we have where anybody, either a dealer or a consumer, can search for a part. They can only be ordered by a dealer once they're logged in, but any customer can search for a part. They can search by the Rotary part number. They can search by an OEM number. We have a cross-reference built in. So if they have any of the cross-reference part numbers, they can search by those, and it'll also pull up the part. We give them the ability to look at the dimensions that we put on the part, the catalog page that it's in, what models and makes that part may fit. We have a lot of information, so this is definitely a must use for the majority of our dealers because there's just so much information for them that's available on our website. We've been able to expand that over the years. As a consumer, if they look for a part, they find that Rotary carries it, they can then look for a local dealer right here and have the information to be able to order that part from the dealer. Once a user is logged in, they can select multiple accounts if they have multiple accounts with us. We ship to multiple locations for them. We are able to put the most important marketing items that we feel on the home screen that they can then click on to expand into more information for that particular item, such as these backpack sprayers that we carry, or it's just an information gateway, I guess, that we could get something important out to our customers, like where payments are sent if they choose to mail their payment in. It doesn't go anywhere when you click on it. It's just an information spotlight. We can also change any of the information like our business hours, price changes. We can change these on the fly as needed. We don't have to go through Lansa for that. And we can link to other services such as FedEx or UPS so that dealers can track their packages in real time. We give them additional product information. We're constantly adding to this area as far as the information that these products supply to us. And then we can turn around and supply to our customers, and they don't have to search all over the internet for the information. As far as user guides, installation guides, general product information really is available for all of these areas right now. And like I said, we're constantly expanding this. This is something I'm able to do myself, and it just makes stuff a lot easier for us to be able to get this out to the customers and not have to go through somebody else to do it. So we have also something that's very popular with our dealers is our quick order entry option. So they can actually create, say, a spreadsheet with the part numbers and the quantity, and then import it in to our system with either a CSV file, a tablet eliminated file, Excel files. They import those items in and it puts them in the cart. They could see what warehouse it's going to come from. They can see if it's a Prop 65 item, which means it's determined by the state of California that it can cause cancer or reproductive harm. We also give them an option for some items that they can choose to up the quantities they're purchasing because they would get a cheaper price in those instances. We are able to do things like schedule when we want a spring order option to appear. Spring orders are during certain times of the year. They get special terms for those spring orders. And so we only want this particular box to show up, say, between August and February. And we're able to schedule that. So in advance, actually. So that's actually a big help. We do a lot of redundancies to make sure that the item is getting shipped to the correct address. They can change the ship to if they have that option as a dealer. Once they check out, they can put a purchase order in, they can put an additional information in, like if they need a lift gate on their delivery, anything like that. We also have items, if they add them to their order, that they're required to only be shipped by truck line instead of FedEx or UPS. And one of the things that the system does for us is it lets the customer know when they try to place an order, if they don't have a sufficient quantity to make that option available, then it gives them a message and they can either go back and remove it or they can up their order to meet the requirements. And so that's just a little brief overview. Now, the results from being able to update our website with Lansa, that it's really reduced effort on our dealers and our customer service. We actually increased our web orders from 67% before we went with Lansa to we're currently at 85% of our orders right now. And that's primarily because we have customers that still deal with fax machines. We have some that are actually not on the internet, whether due to religious or community reasons. And so we do still have a small amount of customers that we handle that way, but the website for the primary amount of dealers that we have is great for information. They could place their orders, they could track their packages, they could look at their order histories. There's so much information that they can get from our website that we actually have dealers tell us that they prefer our website over any of our competitors. And we do have some new implementations that we were going to go for. It needs a new graphic overhaul, I guess. Just it's getting a little aged out. We've had it for over 5 years now. We would like to order some more navigation buttons, make it even easier for our dealers to use. We're going to implement options where customers can make suggestions easier. We're going to put more part photos in, the ability to zoom in on those photos. So we're constantly doing improvements, some that our salesmen are suggesting, some that our dealers are suggesting, that makes life easier for them.
Thank you very much, Kyleen. Well, we'll be waiting for some questions to come in. Please feel free to do it. And if you really think that after you have another question, you can always reach us at sales@lansa.com, and we'll be glad to come back with you with an answer. Because there are no question. Oh, there's one. They're asking if what version of Lansa is the website is developed in. Well, one of the is Commerce Edition, I guess.
Right.
They're using Commerce Edition. I don't know in which version particular. Perhaps Steve might help us here.
Hi guys, sorry I muted. Kyleen, was it version 14 that you're on currently?
I believe so.
Yeah, I
believe so. Yeah.
So yeah, Commerce Edition is sort of a starting point solution for e-commerce that's developed in Lansa, and that was used for this solution. And it provides a lot of the core functionality that's required for sort of e-commerce, B2B and B2C websites. And then it can be customized for each situation with integration and, specific routines that are available in the backend server, customized look and feel, and whatever features are required.
And I know on our end, it's been great because we can manipulate it to fit our needs. And there has been very little that we can't do, really.
Okay, got it. You have another one coming in asking if the site's mobile friendly.
Absolutely. It changes depending on the size of the screen. So on a wider screen, you get more this way. On, say, a cell phone, it stretches out to scroll through to be long ways. So it is screen responsive.
I guess this is a technical question. Perhaps it's about, they're asking us if it's Visual Lansa web. And
I think I think this one is using WAMs. So VL Web is one version of the technology and WAMs is another version of the technology. Since this was originated a couple years ago, it would have been in WAMs. Today, if it were being developed, we could use either, depending on the requirements of the site itself. Commerce Edition is available using both WAM and VL Web infrastructure. Both of them are web technologies that Lansa provides.
Here's another question. It says that, was Commerce Edition your first foray for Lansa? And it says that it looks like 14.x, probably 14.2.
Yes. Yeah, this is the what we initiated with Lansa, and it's worked very well for us. So with the Commerce Edition.
Okay. Here's another one. It says that, what's the biggest challenge you experienced when developing your system? What do you think it was?
I'd say probably getting the different departments to agree on what we needed. Customer service tends to think a little different than other departments, our sales department. So just getting them to agree is probably one of the hardest things.
Here's another question. That is, if you were able to track the volume of transactions that come from PCs versus mobile devices, would mobile be growing more than 25%?
It is. We can actually track that. We use Google Analytics for a lot of it. And we can see that the use of mobile devices is increasing. Our industry tends to be of the older generation. So they're slowly moving into different forms of technology that they did not use before. Primarily, it is still PCs, but we do see an increase in tablets and mobile phones.
You just waiting another minute just to see if there's another question coming.
No problem.
Oh, they're asking if this is a US product only.
As far as the
I guess-
Rotary product
I
or the
guess
Lansa?
Yeah, I think it could be, like, I don't know if we have a little bit more on this one. Perhaps if it's Lansa, yes, it's global. And I guess in your case, is it available globally?
Oh, we're global as well. We actually ship to over 75 countries.
Yeah, I can just add something on there, Jose. So other implementations of the technology, like of Commerce Edition, can be multilingual, they can be multi-currency, different tax rules for different regions of the world or wherever the sales are happening. So there's a lot of flexibility there. Not all of it Rotary needed, but there's a lot of flexibility within the
Right.
solution.
Thank you very much, Steve. Oh, there's another person asking if they are that perhaps they need to clarify if there are no transaction fees for the Commerce Edition.
No, we have no transaction fees.
Here's another one. Besides getting departments to agree throughout the project, was 6 months roughly expected for a project duration?
I'm not sure. You may know more about that.
Yeah, Kyleen, that
Dealing
would have
with
been
other
before
customers.
your time, right?
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. If everything went quickly, then I would say the implementation could be like 2.5 or 3 months. But oftentimes, I guess as Kyleen alluded to, there's a lot of, it's sort of like the project forces discussions and decisions to be made that involve marketing and product, and in this case, working maybe with the dealer network, and IT and integration. So there's a lot of decisions that need to be made sort of on the fly during the project, and sometimes they take a little bit of time. So yeah, I think 6 months is a safe time frame, for sure, but I would say maybe 4 months is more typical. And again, if everything were lined up, it would probably be 2.5 or something like that.
And also something very important is that this, well, although this was the initial implementation of the project, there are always new additions coming in to the project to enrich functionality and these kind of things, adapted to the new business models. So it's normal that new inclusions are added.
Right. One thing that I can show too that I didn't before is that we previously printed and shipped out to our salespeople, and then they personally handed flyers to our dealers every month for the new items that we were releasing. And we've been able to put it on the website. The dealers can click on it and see a PDF of the new items that we offer now. So it has pretty much negated the need and the cost for us to have to print them out and ship them, because they can get them now as soon as they're available, whereas before it was maybe like a 2-week delay between printing and shipping.
Okay, great. Well, I have another one. I believe these ones are two technical questions. These are, I guess, they are more related to Steve. Is the backend database an iSeries?
Yes. Yep. They're on an IBMI.
We are.
And then again, I mean, the solution can be for Windows backend, and I guess it should be pointed out that it doesn't really matter what the backend is, whether it's custom, whether it's a package of some kind, a software package, whatever ERP it is. We've integrated with, probably close to 100 at this point.
Right.
So it can be whatever. It can integrate with REST web services or direct interaction with the database and the server logic, whatever makes sense in the situation. And that's one of the core things that needs to be figured out when we're implementing. There are certain well-defined areas of integration with the system that during the project scoping are identified, and there's an approach that's arrived at, and then that's estimated as part of the implementation plan.
Okay, so we have another one that it says if all the backend processes were rewritten in Lansa, or they were still using the native iSeries codes.
Yeah, I can answer that. So it's if I understand the question correctly, it's a mix. The logic needed in order to present the user experience and to assemble pricing information and other things into the user experience. That's all part of the system itself. But the integration is developed depending on whatever our client already has available. So in this case, there may have been existing pricing and allocation routines that were there in order to figure out pricing. In other situations, the database is available, and the client helps us understand the rules related to price and availability. Sometimes APIs are developed by the client or by us in order to do those kinds of things. So price and availability, payment, order status, and even placing of the order. Those are like the key integration points that are determined.
And
Okay,
we
great.
also integrate with our customer resource management system workbooks.
Yeah, actually, I have a question. I guess it's pretty related to that. It's so in case there's an existing ERP OE system in place and Commerce Edition was an add-on to keep the online experience. Wait,
I'm not sure I quite understand the question.
yeah. Let me see. Yeah, I'm gonna read it out loud again. So in case there was an existing ERP OE system in place and Commerce Edition was an add-on to give online experience, I guess.
Yeah, I'm not sure exactly what the question was, but yes, I mean, we never deal with a client, or have never dealt with a client that didn't start with something. They're always starting with an existing system where they manage products and orders and so on. And maybe they've always taken orders via phone and email and fax and you know, directly from salespeople or whatever. But um, there are integrations that can be done with the existing ERP. So for example, in this case, their back end is Lawson. And so Lawson is what we integrated with. And I think if I remember, we had already had projects where we had integrated with Lawson for other clients. So we probably brought that experience to the table as well. That's not always the case. Sometimes we're dealing with a homegrown ERP of some kind that we're integrating with. So again, integration is one of the key areas of the projects for us. So we have a lot of experience with different types of systems.
Okay, I guess the question is here is that I guess it's more a clarification over the last question, but I think it was like if the Commerce Edition did not replace an existing system, if this was just an add-on.
Yeah, that's right. It's an add-on. The existing ERP system is still used.
I guess we are over time and we have no further questions come in, but well, thank you very much, Kyleen, for being
You're welcome. Absolutely.
with us. It's very inspiring to hear all the story and how you guys have grown over the years. Thanks.